This particular hour, I'd like to introduce our guest. He goes by the name of Ndungu Wangenye. He's the National Secretary of KETHAWA, and he's also an advocate of High Court of Kenya. And he used to work in the county government. I think it's Murang'a? Nyandarua County. Yes. All right, sasa karibu sana Mr. Ndungu.
Thank you.
To Radio Generation.
Thank you.
This particular morning we want to just focus on the education crisis because it's been a very huge issue for the last couple of days.
Yeah.
And if I'm not wrong, we've been getting conflicting information from the government.
Yes.
In regards to that. So, number one, what is your opinion on what the CS of Treasury said, that is CS Mbadi? He said the government is unable to sustain free education. And then here we have politicians who are saying something similar. Others, of course, are of a different opinion. Then we have the president, President Ruto, saying that the education, the whole free education is in the constitution na haitaguzwa na mtu yote. He's going to ensure that it continues. What do you make up of these statements that are coming from the government?
Thank you very much, and thank you this morning for meeting you since the last time I was here.
Yes,
and I really appreciate being in Radio Generation. It's quite an honor to invite me this Monday morning so that we can educate our people on what is patent issues about this whole debate or about. Number one, allow me to say that Honorable Badi is a devil's advocate. And in fact, if he sued today, I would also volunteer pro bono to represent him in court for making such sentiments. Because these are sentiments whereby many people and many CEOs even before feared, to speak it out. And that is a reality on the ground. Unless you own up and appreciate where you are, then you start the process of healing. In a medical hospital, the professions are counterpart, as being legal, them being medical profession. When you go there, and Madam goes there, she has a headache. She has to accept that she has a headache. If she's diagnosed with malaria, she has to accept that she has malaria, so that the doctor can now know the correct prescription to administer to her. If you go and be diagnosed by another disease, you have to accept that reality. So Honorable Badi actually broke the ice where majority of say the ministers or the government officials have always been fearing, because the reality is we haven't been funding basic education as it is required. It is not there. It's a fallacy. We are living fallacious life, so to speak. Because if you tell a principal of a high school that he'll get 22,244 per child, and that school has 1,000 school-going children, how much money is that? It's approximately 22 million. So he'll do his budget with the 22 millions, isn't it?
Yes.
He'll call the supplier, bring me maybe
nyama
for the 1 million, cabbages, beans. There is a darasa here that was not complete. He gives to a contractor, he issues an LSO. But by the end of the day, he'll end up getting out of 22, he'll get 15 million, while he get the deficit of 7 million from. So, but he came and said, and by the way, and for record purpose, and it's good to analyze and look at these things critically. That thing did not start with this government. And that's why I said I'll be a devil's advocate today. It did not start now. The problem of free education, particularly in secondary, because in 2003 when Kibaki came in, he introduced free primary education.
Yes.
With a capitation fund of 1,020 per child. Okay? 1,020 per child. By then we had about 5.9 school-going children. But by 2019, we had hit a 10 million target. Okay? So it therefore means it is skyrocketing. Then when he came in 2008, he introduced free day secondary school with the amount of 10,000 per child. Actually, it was 10,021 per child. Then the population kept on increasing. Then in around 2012, 2013 when Uhuru took over power, the amount was increased to 12,000. Okay?
Yeah.
Then in 2018, the money again increased to 20. The current now we have 22,244. It was increased in 2018. But now they are forgetting that they are increasing the amount. By the way, by the time Uhuru came in 2018, 2019, COVID hit. So the target he had projected could not be met. So what do? Do you abandon the course? You start scaling down. Isn't it? So because the revenue targets, and I've worked in government, and I want to be realistic. And that is the same replica that happens in counties. When I was in county, I could make a budget proposal. As a minister for education, I need 300 million per that financial year, because we used to make it in the counties. Then you present to the minister for finance. Okay, mimi napeleka yangu 300 million. Mwingine anapeleka yake 500 million. So the total budget for the entire county government hits to around 8 million. Okay? Because mimi nimepeleka yangu 300 million, mwingine amepeleka yake 500 million, minister mwingine anapeleka yake. Roads used to have majority like almost 800 million, because we have to do a lot of roads plus water. And the irrigation we used to have around 600 million. So the entire budget comes to around 8 billion. So tunapelekea Minister of Finance, he tabulates, he take the proposals to the county assembly.
Yeah.
It is passed. But now, out of 8 billion we have projected, okay?
Yes.
We have estimated own source revenue, because we shall generate our own source revenue.
Right.
We estimate maybe in our own source revenue we shall collect 1 billion. Then maybe donor grants and all that, conditional grants that are given by national government, another maybe 2 billion. And maybe the national government now, shoulder the deficit that is remaining. That is 3 plus 2, that is 5. Then 3, and then the 5 comes from national government. Okay. But now, let's go to the ground. I need my money. And because it is now approved budget, it's a budget line. You will come to my office. Madam will come to my office. I'll give him an LSO. Go and do this work, because there is money in the budget. In procurement laws, later I'll be teaching you, you cannot procure when you don't have money in the budget.
Yes.
But now the money is in the budget, and I'll issue an LSO. But in reality, out of the projected 800 million own source revenue we had projected to correct, we are only going to correct 150 million. So you've been left with a deficit of 650.
Yeah.
And you have issued people LSO, they have executed the work. Mwingine alienda bank akakopa, si ndio? Sasa kuna LSO ya serikali yenye imesainiwa na authorized officer and approved na iko kwa budget, legal document. Umeenda bank imeona LSO, imekupea loan. You have constructed a classroom, a workshop, a whatever, and it is complete. It is very smart, but you'll stay almost 4 years before you are ever paid, because you are ready to pay bills.
So Ndungu, I have a question here, because again, and I like using the home as an analogy, because the home is more or less the basic unit of a country.
Exactly.
So now, if in my own home I take austerity measures,
yes,
and I look at my salary, and I say, now this is the money we have as a family,
yes,
and of course madam anaekelea yake pale kwa meza, and we say, now this is the money we have as a family. There are some things we obviously will not do. We are not going to go to Dubai if we do not have the money. Hata Diani tunaweza kosa kuenda. Then we say, if we really need to go out and enjoy as a family, can we consider going to the national park in Nairobi? Can we consider going for swimming at a local swimming?
Exactly.
Where the swimming amount for swimming ni 100, 200, as opposed kuenda mahali utalipa 1000.
Yes.
So why is the country not doing something similar in terms of, we know there's some basic priorities, because even in my own home I'll make sure school fees has been paid, and we have food to eat, and of course rent has been paid. Na tuko na stima, because we cannot survive without those 4 basic things. School fees, chakula, stima na maji.
Yes.
Anything else it can wait.
Yes.
Hata internet si lazima, tunaweza nunua bundles if we need to. So now, why is the country not doing something similar? We have seen budgets being allocated to places where they are not necessarily for example, the state house budget for moving around, transportation is currently, forget the church. The church, the president said it's his own money, and I'd like to trust him that it is his own money, not my money. So if the state house transportation budget last year, it was 900 and something 33 million, right now it is 2.17 in the last budget, 2.17 billion. We are increasing. I'm seeing us giving money to places where they are not necessarily needed, and we can go through the entire budget and we'll find such kinds of expenditure that are not needed. Yet there are people who do not have food. We could have taken that money there. Students don't have school fees for free education. Do you think, if you look at the budget that was passed, do you think that we have our priorities right?
I expected that question, by the way. And it's a very good question.
Right.
Let's look at it like this. Education, one, is a recurrent expenditure. It's not a development expenditure. Now, I told you in my high school, I am a jack of so many trades. I did some basics accounting, because actually one of the unit I did was accounting. Actually, I wanted to be an accountant even before being a lawyer. there is what we call value chain and return on investment. Now, here we are. This financial year alone, this country has allocated over 700 billion out of the budget of 4.2. 700 billion. In fact, we are speaking of almost 70% of a trillion. And it is projected by 2035, if we go with the current trend, education alone will be taking a whole trillion Kenya shillings.
By 2035?
By 2035. Yes. It is projected. Because if today is 2025, we are allocating 700, I think it's 720.
Yeah,
billion.
I have
billion.
the figure.
You have the figure.
Yes.
Billion in education alone. That is one ministry. We have not factored money that is going to the counties, isn't it? Because now, again, when Uhuru took over, there was money that was supposed to go to counties. That is going also, it's also skyrocketing. 420, 500 and something. Madam, you give us the actual figure.
Yeah, it's 702.7 billion.
Good. Now, that money, let's also ask ourselves, we have poured and pampered. Actually, in the recurrent expenditure, education usually takes about 35% of the entire recurrent expenditure of the country. And it is the highest, by the way, in Africa, in Kenya. We should even be lucky. But now, we have taken all this money and we have poured it in education docket, which is okay and which is right. Then, these children have started from, kindergarten, ECD, they have gone to primary school, they have gone to junior secondary, colleges, university, and within no time, after a certain duration, 14, 15 years, they are out with their papers. These children are all over, tamacking around the country, knocking this office and the other one, looking for jobs. Are we together?
Yes.
Do you have the value for that money?
So there is no ROI?
No, just ask me. Do you have the value for that? Because what I would think is this. We have taken 700 billion and invested. Today, if I come and tell you, today you go to the bank with a business proposal. You tell them you want 7 million. First thing they'll ask you, for what? Isn't it?
True.
Tomorrow they'll ask you, then you want to start maybe a kiosk. But go tell them, I want 7 million to go for Asia. Yes, they'll go, but they'll give you because you have the capacity. But the development, whatever officer in charge will not approve all of them.
Right.
He'll tell you, kwanza hiyo unaenda Resha, kwanza wacha nikuwekee milioni moja, alafu ukimaliza you come for the next one.
Yes.
But go tell them, I want to build an investment here.
Yeah.
An income generating house. They'll even tell you, you don't need 7 million. Let's come do variation. They'll give you 10.
I want to challenge your thought because
just a minute I finish.
Yes,
just a minute I finish.
Okay.
So what we are saying is this: it is good to invest all that money, but now we must scratch our head beyond that and ask ourselves: we can even add it to even 2 trillion. So that we say this money we are pouring in education sector and in education docket. Let us make sure that one, we enhance industries in this country, so that when these children come out, they don't just come out with the papers that we have pampered a lot of money, but they know jobs. They become reliant. Another day somebody asked me, there is this MP, and because they are there and they are all over in the media, called Redinyoro of Kiharu.
Yeah.
True or false? True. He usually put tiles in his classes. They look very beautiful.
Yeah.
True or false? Very beautiful. He paints them. New face of, There is another one in Kapsaret called Oscar Sudi. Another day he paraded all his people, giving them kusiaga unga. The posho mills, giving them motorbikes. Kama ni a lady wants a salon and wanunulia hiyo package yote. And then somebody asked me, between the two, who is doing good for his people?
Okay.
Just tell me, who is doing good? To me, it's Oscar Sudi. Because Oscar Sudi is empowering people. Tomorrow, those people will not come for bursary. For the tomorrow you paint the class and put the tiles, but tomorrow his people will still come for the bursary because it did not empower them. So what I'm saying is this: let's have this whole debate and ask ourselves, we need more money in education. Then after that, what next?
Okay, right. I wanted to challenge your thought on in the terms of what educating these people will give back. Actually, as we grew up, we know that education is the best investment that you can give to your children, first of all. So I want you to look at a country whereby we have those industries, but we have people who are not skilled. We have people who are not learned. Is it not a challenge?
Now, let me answer you that one straight away. We have those industries with the people who are not skilled. We don't need, like now, when a school produces Do we need all the degree holder to run that industries? By the way, it is said for 1 degree holder, you need like 12 technical people beneath you.
Okay.
And I said this, and I want also to come back to this. Kenya, in fact, what even we need, we don't even need any more extra university. In fact, even the existing one need to be scaled down. Today, universities are running in debt. True or false?
True.
And this is part
That's
of the
true.
money, by the way, you are still pouring there.
Yes.
More university is cruising down. University of Nairobi, I think it has a debt of almost 12 billion or
All
crazy
the
figures. All of
universities,
them,
yes.
they are cruising. Egerton, they are ever in strike. One guy who was teaching there as a lecturer, he told me they have gone for almost. There's a day they went, they went for 4 months without salaries. Okay, we are running down now. What we need in this country is to empower mid-level technical institutions so that we get skilled people. Skills is not the degree, the people we are pouring in university day in, day out. Skills is empowering that Kasimol Village Polytechnic. And I told you I was a CC in education. I was in charge, by the way, of VCD and Village Polytechnics. One of the polytechnic, and I'll mention it here, called Mirangini Polytechnic, it's a government institution. During COVID-19,
Yeah.
that institution, because we used to have clothing, textile and interior design and fashion and design and cookeries, we call it food, nutrition and dietetics.
Right.
Those people, they made masks that we supplied in the entire county of Nyandarua. So all this money we are pouring to education, can't we pour, we create what we call, and this is the debate, by the way, and for record purpose, maybe last time I was here, I'm
Right.
now the National Secretary of Education Stakeholders Association of Kenya. We have come together, all the association. We are about that something home. There are many all over. We have come together under one umbrella. And KETHAWA National Secretary was also elected as the National Secretary for the entire body.
Okay.
And KEPSHA Chair, Mr. Fuad Ali, of Kenya Primary School Heads Association, is our overall chairman.
Okay.
We decided we are going to have a National Education Dialogue Day, so that we can come together and ask ourselves, apart from just pouring money and releasing papers, what can we do to make sure that all this money, because it's an investment, surely you cannot tell me pouring 700 billion should just be poured and our children just start tamaking with it.
Ndungu, let me ask you.
Let's do the entire value chain, right from its initiation to the end product, and
I have
then
a
we
question.
get the value.
I have a question.
Yes.
There are countries that are doing free education.
Yes.
All the way from kindergarten to university.
Yes.
Yes. And there's something we like doing in this country called benchmarking, and we spend billions every year benchmarking. Why is it so difficult to? Because if Germany has done it, Finland has done it, and they're currently doing it, and many other countries are doing it. We're talking about Norway is doing the same thing. We're talking about Denmark are doing the same thing. Why is it so difficult to go and see how Denmark are getting an ROI on the education system?
Good.
And Germany is getting ROI,
Very good.
and Netherlands and
Very
Norway. Na wale wengine wote wanafanya hivyo.
Now we are talking.
It's only one plane, 8 hours.
Now we are talking.
We land in Amsterdam
Now we are
and
talking.
see what they're doing.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like. Today, did you? I'm sure. Let me not ask you, but I'm sure you brushed your teeth.
Yes, I did.
Like I did also.
Yes.
Which I don't know which toothpaste you used, and let's not mention them here because you are not advertising.
Sure.
But we used toothpaste.
Yes.
In one way or the other.
Yes.
Do you know in
Yeah.
2006, one of the company that was making toothpaste was based here in Nairobi,
Okay.
in an industrial area.
All right.
Do you know today it closed down? Okay. Today, if that company is still in existence, it would have employed so many people.
True.
True of us?
True.
Another company that was assembling motor vehicle here, hapa tu Uhuru Highway hapo. Sitawataja jina pia because we are not here to advertise.
Mimi nawajua.
Unawajua.
I have worked with them a couple of
You have
times.
worked with them.
Yes.
Have they closed shops today?
They have.
And so many other companies, they are closing day in, day out. Are we together? Now you have for us to get ROI for this return on the investment we are doing. Those are some of the things we should be doing. That now it is not just investing in education, but what do we expect at the end? Now, today, and I'm telling you this is because it's a challenge. Today, the budget we have just read of 4.2, about 1.2 trillion will go to repaying debts. Okay? So we are left with about 3 trillion.
Yes.
Out of 3 trillion, almost 2 point something will go to recurrent expenditure, salaries, fuel, all that, and this now even including the education, which is taking almost 35% of that.
Right.
Isn't it? We are left with this right here almost 700
yes.
to do development. Are we together?
Yes.
So what are we saying here? That in case we pour all this money, we expect returns on the same, so that it is not just we are pouring the money to education docket. And that is why we are saying, in this debate we are calling upon, we want to be innovative, so that we don't just crucify body for nothing. Number one, let's the junk of the money in Kenya particularly are going to debt, education, and counties devolved funds, isn't it?
Yes.
Now, can we, because debts we have to pay, because we borrowed and we have consumed anyway, and we have to pay. Okay, hiyo imeenda. Number two, when we come to counties, can we now tell the counties we empower them, or we enhance them with the so-called benchmarking, so that they also start generating their own income to reduce over reliance with the national government.
Okay.
Are we together?
Yes.
So that now a county does not come, it has a budget of 8 billion, and it wants the government to finance 95%, they're only generating 5%. What can they do? We even say it's half-half. You generate 50%, we give you 50%. You know, they'll even see the value of the money. Counties, by the way, that the ones that are generating their own income, most of the times they don't cry when the allocation for the national government delays, because they at least have money to be paying salaries. And again, in these same counties, over 75 to 80% of the money that goes to county again goes to recurrent expenditure, duplication. Kuna minister, madam ni minister wa education wa Mombasa, when minister wa education wa Kilifi, it's just a borderline. How can we even enhance what we call the economic blocks? Of course, the economic block, so that we reduce duplication. Are we communicating?
Yeah.
Number three, we come now to education. In education, can we also start thinking outside the box? I have one school, an example, and I will not mention it here, whereby in their own piece of land, and we must start thinking outside the box and being innovative. In their own piece of land, because they have a good junk piece of land, they usually grow wheat. When they grow wheat, they grit the wheat, whatever, they make the wheat flour.
Yeah.
They make bread, so the school does not buy bread. Do they save on the capitation? They will be relying on the government.
They
Even
save.
if it children are eating bread.
Yes.
They have cows, they milk. So the tea they are making in schools and uji is coming from their own cows. If the capitation delays, are they still continue taking uji and chai?
They're
They're
taking
continuing.
Number three, the same cow they slaughter when they want to have a meal, nyama. Isn't it? When the children are going on strike, there is no meat. They have their own cows, they can slaughter and continue getting meat. They have the same farm, they usually grow. It is seasonal. When times for wheat, times for maize. They grow maize, they create their own wheat flour. Wakati shule zingine zinalia hakuna unga. The principal has already amesiaga unga, watoto wanakula ugali, and they are it is a time we start thinking outside the box.
Well, I like your perspective. I like your perspective. But now I still want to take you back, because I'm looking at the budget that we have for education for this 2025-2026 financial year. We are talking of 702.7 billion. Sawa. Then
And it's not enough.
Yes, which is not enough. First of all, the question will be, those who were in that committee that were coming up with this budget and the Ministry of Education, they had a responsibility. Like, we just want to be realistic. We are in a country where tunajua financially we are not doing that well, right? But then now, where is the okay, did they do that feasibility? Like, we know schools in Kenya are this much. We have a population of this much in our schools.
Almost
because
20 million, all the schools. But high school, it's about 4.2 million.
20 billion. So my question is, why have they been allocating funds that they feel that they are not enough, while they are not coming out and saying, well, this is what we were anticipating.
Good.
And this is now what is on the ground.
Exactly.
Why is it that they have never ever come out to say that? They only came out just the other day when now things went haywire. Is
straight away, everybody has to be blamed. Everybody, including us, even as stakeholders, even as parents, everybody has to be blamed, because this is not a problem that has started yesterday. It is started, and I said this, it is started way back like 8 years ago. Okay, and it's only that now it has reached beyond control, the boiling point. You know, when you compress so much, I did mathematics and chemistry in university. When you compress so much and the pressure is too much, it will burst eventually. It has now come to the point of bursting, and we can no longer keep quiet. In fact, I love the debate. Entirely, I love that debate because this is now the time we are coming out realistically that this is where we are, this is the reality, and everybody has to be blamed. One, we start with the ministry. The ministry will give projections, the number of students they have, like in secondary school, which is secondary school, by the way, takes the junk of the money that is usually given in capitation.
Sure.
So they'll take, because like in the 2023 financial year, they requested for 96 billion. The money that was only available was about 75 billion. So it takes the junk of that money. So when the ministry gives the projections, we have this number of students, vis-a-vis this is the amount of money we require. Okay, TS will also request, because there has been massive employment of teachers to cater for JSS and the new CBE curriculum. When they give their projections, okay, they give projections of what they would require to sustain free education in the country, all these organs. Now, the ministry forward the same to the National Treasury. Okay, the National Treasury computes everything through the cabinet and forward the same also to the National Assembly. Okay, then the Minister of Finance will come here and say, okay, these are the projections the Ministry of Education requires. These are the amounts, 700, maybe like I hear this year, instead of the 700 billion that has been allocated, they wanted over 900 billion. And that is why I'm telling you by 2020 that we are hitting $1 trillion plus. Okay?
Yes.
So it has been cut down. Why has it been cut down? Because again, uko kwenu pia Minister wa Road has come. He wants that, you people, you have been demonstrating day and night. You want that road to be fixed. It is the only road, feeder road, that helps you to take your products to the market. On the other hand, county governments are crying. They want money, isn't it? They haven't paid their staff. They are shutting down. Another day, Governor Mutahi Kahiga was saying they are closing down the counties if the money will not have been released. So there is also pressure from the other end. It's also a constitutional requirement to send money to the counties.
True.
Hapo tumetoka. The National Treasury again comes in. We have, hold on. We have a foreign debt of 1.2 trillion. We have to pay. So when the Minister of Education sit down, he looks, now, hawa sasa sijui nitawapea ngapi. Foreign debt, you now go with the priority. We have the security issues. Now, it also comes again. How much money have we collected? Okay? KRA has supposed to collect about 2.4 trillion. And we have a budget of 4.2. So what do? We borrow again to deficit, to bridge the deficit of the budget. So now, because the alternative for borrowing is what? Overtaxing.
Yes.
Tumeletewa finance bill. Tumedemonstrate hapa town. Paka tumeingia bunge. Isn't it? We don't want finance bill. Sindio? Yes. Because we are being overtaxed. So I'm telling you that when I say everybody has to be blamed, it is all of us, as we don't want to be overtaxed. On the other hand, we have foreign debts. On the other hand, we have other priority areas. We have to pay those debts. We have to pay for education. We have to pay for counties. So what does it call? We employ what we call austerity measures to make sure that wenda kukata kadogo, huyu kadogo. So instead of sending 22,244, Minister of Finance anakuja anasema nimefinya kila kona. But now I also agree. There are also other things we can do to save. One is wastage.
Actually, that is where we were heading to.
One is wastage.
Yes.
Because as a country, we must also be realistic. That we have all these pressing issues. We cannot afford to waste even a single coin, my dear Teresa, isn't it? Number two, we have to avoid duplication. And I'm against, and I can announce here in the radio, I'm against, like there's a motion coming to Parliament to make sure that the CDF is entrenched in the Constitution. That money should go directly to schools. True or false?
That's true.
There is also a money as senators, to oversight. To oversight what? If you cannot oversight with the seat you have been given with the money, just quit the seat. We get another senator who will oversight. Okay? Kuna wengine sijui wanaitisha even all those hula balloons and karabashis should be broken and all that money be taken to schools to pay foreign debts, and to do that the wastage must be reduced. That is we have to be corruption also has to be tamed. Okay? Those are issues we have to face as a country in reality. So that we see, even if we shall not hit the actual 22, by the way, 22,244 to secondary school is not even enough. Those people, because this money was allocated in 2018, Angonia of maize in 2018, the way it was costing by then, today it has increased, isn't it? Because we are heading to 2025, 7 years later.
True.
So these people requires almost 30,000 per child. Whatever was there is not even enough. We need more. We are wasting. Our revenue targets cannot meet. We are there demonstrating we don't want finance bill. So we have to come out this as a national debate and come up, and all these pressing issues be pressed until we get a solution.
Well, I want you to tell me otherwise from whatever as a Kenyan I'm thinking. Now this is Tricia as a Kenyan, because I'm looking at education. Education is a basic need.
Yes.
And especially even in our country. Wacha tuache kusema ati the rate of return on investment yenye tuna expect from education, hiyo tukieka kando. This is a basic requirement in our country, and especially primary and secondary. Sawa sawa. So now when we say that we want to forgo education and say maybe we are talking of development, I think development in our country has its share in the budget, because saizi ukisema tunalipa madeni ambapo as a country kwenda nje, external debts zenye tunafaa tunakopa nje, they are supposed to be for development. Si pesa yenye imeingia kwa mfuko ya mtu. But so far what we are seeing, we are paying for things that we cannot see, we cannot account for. You are paying a debt
for recurrent expenditure.
Yes, you cannot go and do an external borrowing to come and pay salaries.
Exactly. But that is what we have been doing.
That is a principle in finance. You cannot go and borrow externally. Imagine to come and pay salaries.
Yes.
That's unacceptable.
Yes.
And actually there is also a law in our country. When you're going to borrow outside, it is for development.
It should be development.
So when we say education, we are not going to fund education so that we can do development. I think we are just getting it wrong.
In fact, I like your thinking, Teresa. We cannot borrow to fund the current expenditure. That is crazy idea. But now, that is what has been happening, because we have to sustain. Okay? We have to sustain the wage bill. We have to sustain all these austerity measures. We have to sustain the bloated
government payroll. Yeah.
God is good, we have saved the CAS another day, because it was just be bloated wage bill. I'm telling you, even as counties, the duplication effect, whereby I just look at the border between Kirinyaga and Murang'a in Sagana. You see, a minister, they even overlap. Mwingine analala county, mwingine analala county, and they are doing the same thing. You know, so that's a big debate that we need to come about and ask ourselves: must we be there? Okay, because these austerity measures, if they have to come before we press here, can we also press other areas? Are we together? So that we don't just borrow to finance recurrent expenditure, but also that debate should not also run away from us. That also, is it also high time we ask ourselves, how can we? And that is a debate. In fact, in our National Education Dialogue Conference, because we are preparing it, I will be inviting you. One of the things we shall be asking ourselves, it is scratching our heads and asking ourselves, one of the question paper and the term paper we are also releasing to the public to give their input is sustainability of free education in Kenya. To what extent can we do? Because we must also be realistic, Teresa. Because even if we like it or fail it, we must be realistic on sustainability. Starting at something is very easy. Yeah. Sustaining it is a different issue altogether. Here we are, 8 years down the line, we are straining.
Some of the measures I think we need to take, because these are probably the measures I would take in my own house, in my own household.
Yes.
If I'm living in a very big 3-bedroom house where I'm paying 70,000 a month, and now things are thick, I will either go back to Shago where I'm paying nothing, or I move to a smaller house.
First start a bed sitter, then you go gradually.
Exactly. Yeah. And I can even decide to send children and mali kwingine mali maybe things are cheaper.
Very good.
Then mimi na bibi tungangane hapa Nairobi. So what I'm trying to say is, why are we not doing that as a country?
Yes.
Instead of doing more taxes, I think before we get to do more taxes or impose more levies, there are some things we can start doing now. For instance, we have so many officers in this government, and not just in government but also in county government, that honestly shouldn't be there, in my opinion. Perhaps we need to change some things in the constitution.
Good.
For example,
very good.
Yes, for example, we cut down on the number of counties we have. We have 47 counties. To be honest, I don't see maybe in Ukambani region we need to have one county.
Yeah.
Such that we don't need one in Makueni, another one in Kitui, and another one in Machakos.
We go back to the provinces.
Let's go back to the provinces. Yes, but we can still maintain calling them counties, so that we can have fewer counties than we have right now. So that all these governors and senators that we are paying, hiyo pesa kidogo reduce. Si kobaya, I do not see the position of a woman rep and what it does. But that's a conversation for another time. But if it were me, hiyo pia tutoe. Those are billions you are giving to those people for 5 years, and that money can actually go to the students. It can go to the hospitals and many other sectors that, things are not working. So why is it so difficult to do that? And then we can also go and check out the corruption. Yes, all these monies that are going that are being picked up, the 2 billion President Uhuru said inapoteanga kila siku. I'm assuming it's still getting lost. I hope I'm wrong. But if we are losing up to 2 billion on a daily basis, in a year that is over 700 billion, the same 700 billion that is needed in the education.
Good.
And you've mentioned that we need to cut down on wastage, and we need to cut down on the corruption. So why is it so difficult to do that?
I like your conversation, Dennis.
Mbuvi,
sorry.
Why is it so difficult?
I like your conversation because here we have to be realistic, and you have touched a very key thing. Right now, Education Act is undergoing amendment. But I even told another day we had a meeting with the DG, Director General of Ministry of Education. And I told him, even as we do amendment to Education Act, the first document that needs amendment, and it is long overdue, is our Constitution. In fact, for heaven's sake, our Constitution is very good. It's very progressive. We have tested devolution for the last
12 years.
12 years also.
It has worked
from
very
2010,
well.
From 2010.
From 2013.
Oh yeah, when it became operational.
Yes.
Yeah, became it operational because it is this government, the President Uhuru government that started operationalizing. It's 12 years.
Yes.
For 12 years, we cannot be able to tell where is it biting most. If it is law to amend our own Constitution, okay, so be it. Why should we have duplication of all that and our children are missing out of school because of lack of capitation? Okay? So there is a need for amendment of the existing laws that are already there in place because they are pressing us. Okay? Number 2 is wasted. Now, this thing called corruption, it's another monster. But now, I also throw the ball to the Kenyans. Because as Kenyans, and I said that here another day, we are the one who elect these leaders. So when Bobby comes here and scored all the money in this company, when he goes here, he becomes a hero. When Teresa scored all the money for advertisement and all that from this company, when she goes to her village, she becomes a hero. They elect her in the morning. Do you think she will stop now that she has gone to the county?
She'll continue.
She'll even escalate it further. Now because it is now not private company like this one, now it's government money. She'll even eat more. Now, another thing is duplication of our functions. Where do we have, minister in the county doing this, another one doing this, the borderline is a pencil line, the same community, you are serving the same people. Okay? Can't we consolidate all that money? And I'm telling you, Buvi, out of money that goes to the county, 80% goes to recurrent expenditure. Can't we reduce the recurrent expenditure? Now we go to more development so that we develop our counties. Okay? Why do we have a governor here and a governor here, a speaker here, an MC here, an MC, pencil line boundaries? And it's time we are also doing boundary reviews. Is it a conversation that we need to bring on board?
Sure.
Also something else, wastage. Okay? Unnecessary expenditure going here and there, mandazis all over in government offices. There are no austerity measures. So it is a debate that does not only affect education docket, and it is good, and that is why I said Buddy did very well, because he started this debate. And this debate, I would pray it doesn't stop now. Because you see, we have also another problem, Buvi and Treasure in Kenya. We start a debate, within 3 days we debate, then it fizzles out. Have we achieved anything?
Nothing.
Because we shall come, make noise in the public barazas. Unasikia huyu ameenda huko mazishi, hapana, we want education to continue. Mwingine ameenda na huku, we want this to continue. That is not a conversation. That is heckling to me. Isn't it? A conversation is whereby now we say, now this is where we are. Can we have a conclave? Not the one proposed by Baba.
Yeah.
But
one that actually talks about what we need to change in the
Constitution. What we need to change.
Yeah.
But even if there's that proposed by Baba, so be it. If it is the one that will cure and heal us, isn't it? We need that conclave. We sit down, we cruise. And then There is something else. We were talking, we have a very big WhatsApp group of Wadawa Erimu Kenya. We have senior people in that group. I respect them so much. Some of them are even ministers and PS in the same group. Educationists. Follow more Kenya. We have a very big WhatsApp group. And we were talking yesterday. We have been talking since that debate started in our WhatsApp group. And we were asking, the problem we also have Africans, we have a conservative thinking mind. Conservative thinking mind meaning that we have just to think within a certain parameter. And somebody challenged us in the group that if you want to break the ice of free education in Kenya, we must think wild. It's called wild thinking or liberal thinking.
Yeah.
Yes.
We must think out. In fact, our governor, I like Governor Kimemia, former head of public service, he used to tell us, I don't even want you to think outside the box. Just throw away the box and think.
Yeah. Remove the borders.
Remove the borders. Think. So that the things you are saying today may not make sense now. But tomorrow, whatever you are saying, somebody will just go and post and say, hey, Buvi said something. Teresa said something. Can we try it? Can we implement it? Okay? It is after we agree that we have to think outside the borders. Crazy ideas. Singapore and those, advanced countries had to think wildly. Okay? When you Google, you'll find something called Eurotunnel. There is a tunnel in Europe that connects London and Paris.
The speed train.
The speed train that goes beneath the sea.
The sea, yeah.
The Atlantic Ocean. When that idea came, 1985, because that's when I think it was proposed. By then it was Margaret Thatcher. I think she was the Prime Minister of England. England. She was opposed to it.
Okay.
Because it looked
crazy, absurd.
It's something that cannot be done. But a group of, it took her a lot of, conviction from experts. She had to wait for 1 year to approve it, another year to approve it. And finally, even when she approved it, she said, I approve it, but shingo upande. But today, it's one of the magnificent, architectural and engineering design ever witnessed in this country, in this world.
In this world, yeah.
So what we are saying is this: we have to think beyond. Do we even say we change the system of governance? So be it. Isn't it?
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
For example, why do we have a governor and a deputy who's just idle?
Exactly.
Why not give the deputy
some
a
ministerial docket?
Yes.
To be running with the number of ministers.
Yes.
If it is the governance that is this civil service that is so bloated, the public service so bloated. Mtu anaingia tu kwa ofisi anasoma gazeti dakika 5 anatoka.
Na motorcade.
Na alafu kesho atakuja tena sign voucher aende sijui wapi. Do we have a bloated civil service? Must it be the government that should employ? So those are the conversations we need to come up and think wildly so that we are able to break this ice.
Thank you so much.
I will be inviting you for that National Education Dialogue Conference so that we know as education in Kenya, where are we heading?
Right. So as a parting shot, before we have about 2 minutes towards the end of the show. What in your opinion, what can you say about CBC? Should we revert back to 844 or should we continue with CBC, which is now being called CBE?
CBE is very progressive, number one, unlike 844, very progressive, because as again we are speaking of just producing papers. I have come here with the paper. Like now, assume I was coming to this show to look for a job. Kabla nitoke hapa ningeacha CV. Mwingine mkiita mwingine kabla atoke ameacha CV. And those children, by the way, and they are our children, our younger brothers and sisters. They are all over. In fact, some of them are hawking all over. Because yes, she has or he has a degrees, papers at home, but they cannot give her a daily bread. Some of them are being employed by Juakari artisans. Sindio?
Yes.
Who hakuenda? Just look at the narrative. Who hakuenda university? In fact, that child, the amount of money she has taken to train to acquire a degree. Because right now, maybe to do a medicine or whatever, those technical engineering courses, ilikuwa almost $1 million plus. In fact, ilikuja pesa ngapi? Sijui 500 times 4, 2 million. So the parent have pumped 2 million to train that child, okay?
Yes.
To be an engineer. Amekosa kazi. Ameandikwa na Juakali artisan hapa Grogon.
Agonge masufuria. Na wewe kumtrain kutengeneza hizo sufuria, alipelekwa Mirangine Village Polytechnic, akalipiwa 50,000 akatoka. So where is the value for investment?
Na huyu ndiye ameandika huyu. Haya, come to this company. This is smart design. This studio is very smart. Maybe the person who did this thing, maybe, I'm just saying maybe.
Yeah, it's a maybe.
Maybe that person came from another polytechnic here in Utawala. Na mwenye aliandika hapa, ataandika mtu hapa na amulipe wa degree. So where are we getting the investment, my friend? Where should we pump our more money?
Thank you so much.
So CBE, as I conclude, CBE is very progressive because it is giving technical skills. What are you good at? You are good in music, can we advance in that? What are you good at? Are you good in technical, can we advance in that?
Okay.
Are you good in sports, can we advance in that? Other than wasting a lot of money training you, and eventually you will not give value to this country. That person who is artisan, he is paying more revenue than this degree holder with the papers, knocking one door after the other, looking for a job. It is time over for white collar job. Okay?
We think blue collar.
We think blue collar job, we improve our economy, and then we have an entire dialogue on all those issues. We shall going to break the ice.
Thank you so much. That is Ndungu Wangenye. He's the National Secretary of KETHAWA and an advocate of the High Court of Kenya.